Why should you love yourself? I've wondered about this question for years. You know, as well as I do, that we should love ourselves, that it is the great human goal to find self-acceptance and self-love and live a life full of joy and happiness. But still, we find that we ask, why? Good morning. My name is Miss Livette, and this is the first time we're meeting, which is kind of scary considering I can't see you. I can't reach out and give you a handshake. I can only trust that there's someone there watching this, even if it's 50 years from now on the other side of the planet. Even then, we'll still have one thing in common. We're both humans. And while I understand that the life experience between one human and another can vary extremely, we all use the same equipment. And it is also true that that equipment can vary by age, trauma, culture, but the fundamentals are still there. It is the same reason nearly identical weapons are made in different times, oceans apart. The reason all cultures at some point worship the sun. It is why no matter the language, history, or people, we all write about heartbreak. So it becomes natural to assume that at least some quantity of people on this planet also face similar internal struggles. That's why I pose this question today. Why should you love yourself? I have gone years without wondering that, and I have gone months where it is the only thought running through my head. Recently, I came across an answer. In October of this year, I had to move back in with my parents. And while I know and have been told that that is nothing to be ashamed of, especially being a single 20-something in today's world, I still harbor that shame. I think because I know deep down, even if I could live on my own financially, I couldn't mentally. That I have failed at maturing into an independent individual who could add value to the world. That frame of thought is fundamentally ableist and reeks with capitalist dogma, but it still hangs on my pride like a wet rag. I had no options. It was my parents' house or no house. In the months leading up to it, I chose to ignore it. I fed the delusion that I could make things happen purely if I wanted it bad enough. And while that can be true, reality also requires action and cannot be sustained on daydreams. So inevitably, I hit a wall. I've hit walls before. I've crashed through walls and made my way all the way down to rock bottom before. But this was an altogether different experience. I was living with my sister as a roommate. It wasn't the first time I'd lived away from home, but it was the first time I had rented my own room with my own money. It was the first time I felt genuine adult freedom. But old habits come back quickly, especially when they were never really dealt with to begin with, just hibernating until the right conditions appear again. I have a tendency to hide. Some of my earliest memories are of wrapping myself in as many blankets as I could and jumping into a bed face first so I could pretend to be in a cocoon. Sometimes I would sneak into a room full of people and hold my breath in the corner to pretend like I'm invisible. Or I would listen to my family watching TV at night from my room with my ear pressed against the crack between the door and the floor. So naturally, it happened again. Only this time with no restrictions.
No one opened my door to tell me to do chores. No one made sure I was awake and going to work. I could spend days in that room where the door would never budge. When I first started to struggle, I told myself it was because of the cats. I'm allergic to cats and I want to be able to sleep without sneezing, right? But slowly, I became entombed in that room. It got to the point I felt like I would die if I left it. I closed the windows and stayed wrapped up in my blankets as the illness of my brain leaked out and climbed up the walls, flooding the room and eating any hope of sunlight as I grew accustomed to the thought of rotting alive. I was drowning in self-loathing and hatred. There was little I could see outside my own brain. There, that question floated to the surface. Why should I love myself? Why should a pitiful, horrible beast like you love yourself? Why do you dare believe you deserve even your own love? A woman, ignorant of depression or me, barged in and started screaming. It was the end of the world for me as I cowered in my blankets under my desk. Each one of her words pierced me, stomping me into my depression. Every word rang true, my internal monologue chanting her on, disgusting, horrible, worthless, degenerate. Then my heart stopped as I heard my sister's voice. As I heard her take my lashing, as I heard her calmly reassure the woman it would all be taken care of. I waited for the moment my sister's voice would echo the woman's sentiment, when she would sail me down the river to save her own good impression.
I didn't know what to do when she didn't. I didn't know what to do when she knocked on my door and softly called my name.
I didn't think I'd ever be able to open that door, but when I did, my sister stood there with puffy red eyes, her arms open as she asked me if I was okay. That was the wall I hit. I hit it head first and with enough force to knock the delusions out of my eyes, to realize that that wall was just another door with a question written across it. Why should I love myself? And there, wrapped in my sister's endless forgiveness, I realized the answer.
I don't have a choice.
Not unless I want to hurt everyone around me. Not unless I want my place in people's memories to be a tragedy. And while it is important to find love for the sake of love, for the pure reason I am alive and in this body, sometimes it's just not enough.
I love myself for the sake of those who love me, but I also love myself for the sake of the person I'll be in the future. Because I hope someday she'll be able to look back at her past and feel pride. And that brings us back to the same question: why should you love yourself? And I know right now it might be hard to look past your brain and see the people who offer that love, because sometimes it's really hard to accept. But there are people out there who love you. There are people out there who will love you. So you have to love yourself for the sake of that love. You have to love yourself for the sake of the animals that rely on you for love and life. You have to love yourself, because what else is there to do in this world?
Thank you for watching that video. Well, this video. It was a difficult one to make. As all first videos tend to be. There's a lot of things I wish it was, and a lot of things it isn't, but it's the first, and I have to love it for that. I hope I had some kind of impact on you. I hope that you will stick around and see what else I have to make for you. I am so excited. I'm so excited to improve and meet the people who I will meet because I've chosen this path. I'm excited to meet you. And of course, this is the part, and I know you're not supposed to wait until the very end, but I'm waiting until the very end to ask you to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. It's just to help support me and support this work that I do. And if you enjoy it, I would enjoy having you around. This is the beginning of this channel. You have the opportunity here to help create this community with me. And I hope it's a great place. In fact, I know it's going to be a great place. Because it'll be one where everything is based on honesty and genuinity and something real. And I hope to learn to do things more genuine. I hope to express myself in a way that I can't in my real life. I'll express it here. I'll express it with you. So again, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful year.